Hello, family! Wondering why the price of your favorite toy or ice cream changes sometimes? That's what we call the cost of living. You see, the cost of living is the amount of money we need to buy the things we need and want. It's like a big shopping list for everything you need to live. This includes food, clothes, toys, and yes, even that scrumptious ice cream you love so much. Now you might be thinking, why does the price of these things change? Well, it's all because of something called supply and demand. Imagine you're at school and everyone wants the same cool toy. If there's only a few of them, those toys become really special, right? That's because the supply is low and the demand is high. This can make the price go up. On the other hand, let's say there's a new ice cream flavor that nobody really likes. The ice cream shop made lots of it, but no one is buying. That's a high supply and low demand. So, to make people want to buy it, they might lower the price. The cost of living also changes based on where you live. For example, living in a big city might be more expensive than living in a small town. That's because things like rent, food, and services can cost more in cities. There are also things like taxes and inflation that can affect the cost of living. Taxes are what we pay to the government to help run our schools, roads, and hospitals. Inflation is when prices go up over time. It's why your grandparents might tell you that ice cream used to cost just a few cents. So, the cost of living isn't just about the price of toys or ice cream. It's about how much money we need to live and enjoy the things we like. And it's influenced by many things like supply and demand, where we live, taxes, and inflation. So the next time your ice cream costs a bit more, you'll know why. Ever wondered why we eat so many different types of food? Well, our bodies are like complex machines, and each type of food serves as a special type of fuel to keep these machines running smoothly. Just like how a car needs gas, oil, and water to function properly, our bodies need a variety of nutrients, each with its own unique role. Let's take a simple example. Think about fruits. They are like nature's candy, sweet, juicy, and delicious. But they offer much more than just a tasty treat. Fruits are packed with vitamins, which are essential nutrients that help our bodies function efficiently. They help protect us from sickness, heal our wounds, and even keep our skin glowing. On the other hand, we have foods like bread, pasta, and rice. These might not be as sweet as fruits, but they are like the gas that keeps our engines running. These foods are rich in carbohydrates, which provide us with energy. So when you're running around in the park or thinking hard about a math problem, it's the energy from these foods that's powering you. Then there are foods like fish, chicken, and beans. These are our body's builders. They contain protein, a nutrient that helps build and repair our body's tissues. So if you're growing taller or healing a scraped knee, it's the protein in these foods that's hard at work. And let's not forget about vegetables. They are like the body's cleaners. They provide us with dietary fiber that helps in digestion and keeps our tummy happy. Plus, they also give us a whole bunch of vitamins and minerals. So you see, each type of food has a very special job. They're all important in their own way, and that's why we need a mix of them to keep our bodies happy and healthy. It's like having a superhero team inside us, with each food bringing its own superpower to the table. So, every food has its own superpower to keep us healthy and strong. Scene script. Have you ever thought about why countries trade goods with each other? Well, just like you might trade your apple for a banana at lunch, countries also trade what they have for things they need. This is called international trade. But there's a bit more to it than just swapping an apple for a banana. Often countries will make special agreements or promises with each other about this trade. These are called trade agreements. You can think of them as friendships between countries. They help to make sure that the trading is fair and beneficial for everyone involved. Let's think about it. Imagine you're a country, and you're really good at growing wheat. You have fields and fields of golden wheat ready to be made into bread. But you don't have the right tools to make electronics like televisions or video games. Now, let's imagine your friend is another country, and they're really good at making electronics, but they don't have enough wheat to bake bread. You both have something the other needs. So you decide to swap or trade your wheat for their electronics. That's exactly what happens in real life. For instance, the United States is one of the top producers of wheat in the world. Japan, on the other hand, is known for its high-quality electronics. So the United States and Japan might agree to trade some of their wheat and electronics with each other. These trade agreements are very important for countries. They allow each country to get what they need and also to share their own products with the world. But just like any friendship, these agreements need to be fair and respectful. Both countries need to agree on what they're trading and how much it's worth. They also need to make sure no one is being taken advantage of. Just like swapping toys with your friend, countries swap goods too. And that, my friends, is how trade agreements between nations work. Scene script. Have you ever received money for doing chores around the house? Well, this might seem like a simple arrangement between you and your parents, but it's actually a small example of how the world of work operates. You see, when you perform a task or a job like cleaning your room or washing the dishes, you are doing something that has value. And in return for that valuable work, you get paid. It's a trade. Your hard work in exchange for money. This is a concept known as earning. You give your time, your effort, and your skill, and in return, you earn something. In this case, it's money. But earning isn't just about getting money. It's about understanding that your time and effort have worth. It's about learning responsibility and the value of hard work. Imagine if you were asked to clean your room, and you said, "Sure, I'll do it later," but then never did. Not only would your room stay messy, but you also wouldn't earn that money. But if you take on the responsibility, put in the effort, and clean your room when you said you would, you're showing that you understand the value of your word and your work. Earning money by doing chores can also help you understand how to manage money. You start to learn that if you want to buy something like a new toy or a book, you have to save up the money you earn. This can teach you about budgeting, saving, and making smart choices with your money. So the next time you're asked to do a chore, remember, it's not just about the task itself. It's about learning responsibility, understanding the value of your work, and earning money. It's a small step towards understanding the bigger world of work, where people earn money by doing jobs. So when you tidy your room, you're not just cleaning, you're earning too. Ever wondered why some countries have cooler gadgets than others? Just like we learn and grow, countries also learn and grow through something called technological advancements. This simply means finding new ways of doing things using science and technology. And guess what? The more a country focuses on research and education, the more advanced it becomes technologically. Let's take Japan, for example, a country known for its high-tech marvels. Have you ever heard of their toilets that can warm the seat, play music, and even wash and dry you off? Yes, you heard it right. All these cool features are possible because of technological advancements. But it's not just about fancy toilets. Japan is also famous for its robots. There are robots to help you in the supermarket, robots to assist doctors in hospitals, and even robots to keep you company when you're feeling lonely. How cool is that? These advancements don't just happen overnight, though. They are the result of years and years of research and education. People in Japan, and in other technologically advanced countries, spend a lot of time studying and learning new things. They always question how things work, and how they can make them better. Technological advancements aren't only about making life easier or more fun. They can also help solve big problems. For instance, technology can help us find new ways to produce clean energy, which is better for our planet. It can also help doctors find new treatments for diseases, making us healthier. So, why do some countries have cooler gadgets than others? Well, it's because those countries have people who are dedicated to learning, researching, and coming up with new ideas. They are always asking questions and seeking answers. They are not afraid to try new things and make mistakes because they know that's how we learn and grow. And guess what? You too can be a part of these advancements. All it takes is curiosity, a love for learning, and a bit of hard work. Who knows? Maybe one day, you could be the one inventing the next cool gadget or finding a solution to a big problem. So, studying hard could help you create the next cool gadget. Did you know animals have a super sense of smell that helps them find their way? Imagine trying to find your way in the dark without a flashlight. That's how animals navigate their world, but they use their noses instead of lights. Let's talk about dogs first. Dogs are famous for their incredible smelling abilities. A dog's nose is like a superpowered radar that can detect even the faintest whiffs. When it comes to finding food, dogs can smell a juicy steak from over a mile away. They can even sniff out tiny crumbs hidden under the carpet. So if you've ever wondered how your pet dog always knows where you've hidden their treats, now you know! And it's not just about food. Dogs also use their sense of smell to avoid danger. They can smell a fire burning or a storm brewing long before we can. This is why dogs often act strangely before a natural disaster. They're picking up on smells that we can't detect. Now let's talk about bears. Bears have the most potent sense of smell in the animal kingdom. They can smell food from over 18 miles away. This powerful nose helps them find berries, honey, and fish, even in the vast wilderness. It's like having a built-in food locator. But it's not just about finding food and avoiding danger. Animals also use their sense of smell to navigate their surroundings. They leave scent markers to create a map of their territory. These markers tell other animals to stay away, and they help the animal find its way back home. It's like leaving breadcrumbs to follow in a big forest. So as you can see, an animal's sense of smell is a crucial part of their survival. It helps them find food, avoid danger, and navigate their world. It's like having a superpower that keeps them safe and fed. So next time you see a dog sniffing around, or a bear following its nose, remember that they're using their built-in GPS. So an animal's nose is like their GPS nose. Have you ever thought about why it's important to always tell the truth? Honesty and truthfulness are like the pillars of a strong friendship or any relationship, really. They hold everything together, like the way glue keeps your favorite Lego set intact. Imagine this. You and your friend are playing with your favorite toy and it accidentally breaks. Instead of telling the truth, you decide to hide it and lie about it. When your friend discovers the broken toy later, they might feel hurt or betrayed. That's because when you lie, it's like you're breaking the trust your friend has in you, just like the broken toy. Now let's consider a different scenario. You're at school and you didn't do your homework. The teacher asks you why, and you come up with a tall tale about an alien abduction. It might sound funny at first, but if the teacher discovers the truth, they might stop trusting you in the future. And trust me, it's hard to rebuild trust once it's lost. But honesty isn't just about not telling lies. It's about being genuine and real, like how a mirror reflects exactly what's in front of it. You're being honest when you express your true feelings, when you admit your mistakes, and when you stand up for what's right, even when it's hard. Think about your favorite superheroes. They always stand for truth and honesty, right? That's because these values are superpowers in their own right. They help us build strong relationships, make fair decisions, and live a happy and peaceful life. So, the next time you're tempted to tell a fib, remember the broken toy and the alien abduction. Remember how lies can break trust and how hard it is to mend it. Remember that being honest might seem difficult at times, but it's always worth it. Just remember, honesty is always the best policy. Because when you're honest, you're being the best version of yourself. And that's a superpower everyone can have. Did you know animals have their own special ways of talking to each other? Just like we chat with our friends or call our family, animals use sounds, movements, and even smells to communicate with one another. Let's start with sounds. Think about a dog barking. It's not just noise, it's a form of communication. When a dog barks, it could be saying, "Hey, there's a stranger at the door," or "I'm excited to see you." Birds also use sounds to express themselves. They chirp and sing to attract mates, warn others of danger, or simply announce, "This is my territory." But what about animals that can't make much noise? They use movements. Bees, for example, perform a unique dance to tell their hive mates where to find food. By wiggling and twirling in a specific pattern, they provide directions to a flower field or a new source of nectar. It's like they're giving each other a map and compass, but with dance moves. And then there are smells. Animals like dogs and cats have an incredible sense of smell. They use this to communicate too. Have you ever noticed your pet sniffing around the park or at home? They're not just exploring, they're picking up messages left by other animals. A scent mark could be a way to say, "This is my space, keep out," or "Hey friend, I was here." In the ocean, creatures like squids and octopuses change their skin color and pattern to communicate. A sudden shift in color might mean, "I'm scared," or "stay away." And let's not forget about touch. Many animals like monkeys and cats use touch to strengthen social bonds, comfort each other, or show dominance. It's their way of giving a hug or a pat on the back. So just as we use words, facial expressions, and body language to convey our thoughts and feelings, animals also have their own special ways of expressing themselves. It's a fascinating world of nonverbal chats, dance parties, and scented messages. So animals have their own unique languages, just like us. Ever wondered why we have a flag and what it stands for? Flags are much more than just pieces of fabric fluttering in the wind. They are symbols packed with meaning, representing the history, values, and aspirations of a country. Let's take a closer look at the flag of the United States. This flag, often referred to as the Stars and Stripes, Old Glory, or the Star-Spangled Banner, is a powerful symbol of the United States. It's a reflection of the country's history and its journey through time. The 13 red and white stripes represent the original 13 colonies that rebelled against British rule and became the first states of the United States. These stripes remind us of the bravery and determination of the early settlers who sought to create a new nation where they could live according to their beliefs. The blue field, or canton, on the top left corner of the flag holds 50 small, white, 5-pointed stars. Each one of these stars stands for one of the 50 states that currently make up the United States. The stars are a symbol of unity, indicating that while each state has its own identity and governance, they all come together to form one nation. The colors of the flag also hold significant meaning. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white stands for purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Together, these colors paint a picture of a nation that values courage, integrity, and resilience. Flags are also often at the center of ceremonies and public events, further emphasizing their importance. On national holidays like the 4th of July, or during significant events like the Olympics, the U.S. flag is proudly displayed, reminding everyone of the shared history and values that bind the country together. So the U.S. flag is much more than just a design. It's a symbol, a statement, and a story. It's a vibrant reminder of where the country has been, where it is, and where it hopes to go. So our flag is a beautiful picture of our country's story. Can you imagine buying things without using money? People used to do that. Long before coins jingled in our pockets or credit cards swiped through machines, people traded without using money. This system was called bartering. Bartering is like swapping, where you give something you have and get something you want in return. Let's imagine a world where money doesn't exist. You're a farmer who grows delicious, juicy apples. You want to get some bananas, but you don't have any banana trees. Now what do? You find someone who has bananas but wants apples. So you both agree to trade. You give them some of your apples and they give you some of their bananas. That's bartering. Bartering wasn't just for fruits, though. People traded all sorts of things. A carpenter might fix a leaky roof in exchange for bread and cheese from the baker. A shoemaker might make a pair of shoes for a tailor, who in return would make the shoemaker a new coat. But bartering had its challenges. What if the person with bananas didn't want apples but wanted oranges instead? Or what if the baker didn't need his roof fixed right now? These problems eventually led to the invention of money, which made trading easier and more convenient. Despite these challenges, bartering still exists today in some parts of the world. In fact, even you might have bartered without realizing it. Have you ever swapped toys with your friends? That's a form of bartering. Bartering teaches us the value of things, not in terms of money, but in terms of what we need and what we can offer to others. It's a way of trading that depends on cooperation and understanding between people. So before money, people used to shop with things, not coins. And even today, whether we're swapping toys or trading cards, we're keeping a piece of that old tradition alive. So the next time you trade something with a friend, remember, you're part of a tradition that goes back thousands of years. Did you ever wonder how people got things they needed before money existed? Let's imagine a world where the jingle of coins and the rustle of banknotes are unknown. Yes, there was a time when these didn't exist, but people still needed to get things, right? This is where the concept of bartering comes into play. Bartering is a simple term for a simple process. Think of it as a swap, a trade, an exchange. People would trade goods for other goods. For instance, let's say you have an apple tree in your backyard and your friend has a banana tree. You love bananas and your friend loves apples. So what do? You give your friend some apples and in return, your friend gives you some bananas. That's bartering. Let's consider another example, a fun one this time. Imagine you have a toy car, but you've always wanted to have a toy doll. Now your friend has a toy doll, but they've been eyeing your toy car. What do? You swap. You give them your toy car and they give you their toy doll. Just like that, both of you are happy. But here's the thing. This system, while simple, was not always perfect. Sometimes it was hard to agree on what was a fair trade. For example, how many apples is a banana worth? Or, how many toy cars should you trade for a toy doll? These questions could lead to disagreements and make the process of bartering quite tricky. So, we've taken a step back in time and explored a world without money. We've discovered that people used to trade by bartering, exchanging goods they had for goods they needed. It wasn't a perfect system, and it had its challenges. But it did the job, and people could get the things they needed or wanted. So, that's how people used to trade without money. They simply swapped things they had for things they needed. Why do we use different ways of talking to each other, like speaking and writing? Well, let's start with a simple question. Have you ever played a game of telephone? You know, the one where you whisper something into one person's ear, and they pass it on until it reaches the last person in line. Often, the message at the end is completely different from the one at the beginning. This fun game actually illustrates a serious point about communication. Speaking, or verbal communication, is a powerful tool. It allows us to express our thoughts, ideas, and emotions directly. When we're face-to-face with someone, we can use our voices, facial expressions, and body language to convey our meaning. This immediate form of communication is incredibly useful, especially when we need to share information quickly. For example, a teacher explaining a new concept to a class, or a friend telling a joke to make us laugh. But what if the person we want to communicate with isn't in the same room, city, or even country? Or what if we want to remember something important for later? This is where writing comes into play. Writing allows us to communicate across distances and time. It can be as simple as sending a text or an email to a friend, or as complex as writing a book that can be read by people all around the world, even generations from now. Imagine trying to remember everything you learned in school without any books or notes. That would be quite a challenge, wouldn't it? Writing not only allows us to share our thoughts, ideas, and stories with others, but also helps us remember and understand things better. So whether it's chatting with a friend on the playground, writing a letter to a pen pal, or reading a fascinating book, communication is all about sharing and connecting. Different ways of communication help us share our thoughts and feelings, no matter where we are or who we are talking to. Ever wondered how roller skate wheels are designed to roll so smoothly? Well, the magic behind the smooth ride lies in the hands of engineers. These are the smart folks who design and create roller skate wheels. You see, engineers are problem solvers. They look at how things work and figure out how to make them better. They're like super inventors. So, when it comes to roller skate wheels, engineers have to consider a few important things. First, they think about the material of the wheels. The wheels need to be durable, but also light enough to allow for easy movement. They often use a type of plastic called polyurethane. It's tough, yet flexible, which is perfect for the job. Next, engineers think about the shape of the wheels. They're not just round for no reason, you know. The round shape helps the wheels to roll smoothly. Imagine trying to roll a square. It wouldn't work very well, would it? But there's one more thing that's super important in making roller skate wheels roll smoothly: reducing friction. Friction is a force that slows things down when they slide or roll against each other. It's like when you try to slide on a smooth floor, you can go far quite easily. But if you try to slide on a rough carpet, you won't get very far. That's because the carpet creates more friction. Engineers reduce friction in roller skate wheels by using bearings. These are small parts that go inside the wheel and help it to spin around smoothly. Bearings are made from materials like steel or ceramic, which are both super smooth and create very little friction. Engineers also make sure the wheels are attached to the skates just right. Too loose, and the wheels wobble. Too tight, and they won't spin properly. It's all about finding that perfect balance. So next time you're gliding around on your roller skates, remember the clever engineers who designed your wheels. They use their knowledge of materials, shapes, and physics to make sure you can have the smoothest ride possible. So, thanks to clever engineers, we can have fun roller skating smoothly and safely. Why do we need to see the doctor when we feel sick? That's a great question. You see, doctors are like body detectives. They have a very important job of figuring out what's making us feel unwell, and then they help us get better. Imagine you're playing a game of hide and seek. You're the seeker, and you have to find your friends who are hiding somewhere. You might look for clues like footprints or a rustling sound to find out where they are hiding. Similarly, when we aren't feeling well, our bodies give off clues that something isn't right. Our temperature might go up, we might start coughing, or we might feel tired all the time. Doctors, being the great detectives they are, know exactly what to look for. They use their knowledge and special tools to read these clues and find out what's causing our discomfort. For instance, a thermometer is one of the tools doctors use to measure our body's temperature. If our temperature is higher than usual, it could mean we have a fever. Another tool that doctors use is a stethoscope. It's that thing they put on your chest to listen to your heart. If your heart is beating too fast or too slow, it might be a sign that you need rest or some medicine to feel better. But the doctor's work doesn't stop at finding out what's wrong. Once they know what's making us feel sick, they help us get better. They might give us medicine or suggest we eat certain foods or get plenty of rest. They might even send us to other doctors called specialists who know a lot about one particular part of the body. No matter what, the goal is always the same, to help us get back to feeling our best. So even though we might feel a bit nervous about going to the doctor, it's important to remember that they're there to help. Just like how detectives solve mysteries, doctors solve the puzzles of our health. They're our partners in keeping us healthy, and they do their best to help us feel better when we're sick. So, doctors are our friends who help us stay healthy and happy. Why do we have so many different types of bugs, and what do they do for our world? Imagine a world filled with a variety of tiny creatures, each with a unique job to do. That's right, we're talking about insects. They might seem small, sometimes even a little scary, but insects are incredibly important in making our world a wonderful place. Let's dive in and understand why. Firstly, insects play a crucial role in the process of pollination. Picture this: a bee buzzing from flower to flower, sipping on sweet nectar. As it does this, it picks up pollen from one flower and carries it to another, helping them reproduce. This means without our busy bee friends, we wouldn't have beautiful fields of flowers to admire or delicious fruits to enjoy. Secondly, insects are nature's little cleaners. You see, just like we clean up our rooms, nature also needs tidying up. This is where insects like beetles come in. They help clean the forest by munching on dead plants and animals, breaking them down into smaller pieces. This process, known as decomposition, is vital because it returns important nutrients back to the soil, helping new plants to grow. But that's not all. Insects also serve as a food source for many other creatures. Birds, bats, frogs, and even other insects feast on them. This makes insects a crucial link in the food chain, helping to maintain the balance of life on Earth. Moreover, some insects like silkworms and honeybees are also useful to us humans. They provide us with silk for our clothes and honey for our tea, among other things. So next time you see a bug, remember it's not just a tiny creature scurrying around. It's a worker bee, a cleaner, a food provider, and sometimes even a little helper for us humans. Even if they might seem small and scary, insects have big jobs in making our world a wonderful place. Scene script. Have you noticed more and more cars that run on electricity instead of gasoline? But why now? Well, let's dive in and explore. Electric cars are a bit like magic carpets, silently gliding down the road, powered by electricity instead of gasoline or diesel. But unlike magic carpets, they're real and they're becoming more and more popular. One of the biggest reasons is that electric cars are better for our environment. Traditional cars that run on gasoline or diesel produce a lot of pollution, which is harmful to the air we breathe and contributes to climate change. Electric cars, however, produce no tailpipe emissions, making them a much cleaner choice. Additionally, electric cars can be cheaper to run. Think about it like this. You have to feed a gasoline car with costly fuel, while an electric car can be fed with electricity, which often costs less. And just like your pet, cars need checkups and maintenance. But electric cars have fewer moving parts, meaning less things that can break or need replacing. But why are these fantastic electric cars becoming more popular now? It's like they've been waiting in the wings, ready to make their grand entrance. You see, for a long time, the technology for electric cars just wasn't quite ready for the big stage. The batteries didn't last long enough and they took too long to charge. But now, thanks to some very clever scientists and engineers, electric car technology has improved leaps and bounds. Plus, people are becoming more aware of environmental issues. We're all starting to realize we need to take better care of our planet, and choosing to drive an electric car is one way to do that. It's like choosing to plant a tree instead of cutting one down. So electric cars are like superheroes, helping us travel while also taking care of our planet. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be behind the wheel of your very own electric car, zooming silently down the road, knowing you're doing your part to keep our world clean and green. Why do people choose to work in different types of jobs? This is a question that might have crossed your mind a few times. Well, people usually choose jobs based on what they love to do, their skills, and what they find interesting. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you love cooking and creating delicious dishes. You might choose to become a chef because it allows you to do what you love every day. Or let's say you have a big heart for animals. You might decide to become a vet because it gives you a chance to work with animals and help them. Jobs are like puzzles, and each person is a unique piece. When we find the job that fits us just right, it feels like we've found our spot in the puzzle. So it's not just about working, it's about finding what makes you happy and using your talents to contribute to the world. So when it comes to work, everyone has a special role that suits them best. Why do some people prefer to shop at small local markets instead of big supermarkets? This is a question that has many answers. One of the biggest reasons is that shopping at local markets helps support local businesses. When you buy from a local market, your money goes directly to the people who grow or make the products, helping them continue their work. Another reason is the freshness and quality of the goods. Nothing can beat the taste of fruits and vegetables that were just picked from the farm earlier in the day. On the other hand, supermarkets offer convenience and a wider variety of products. They are often open all day, and you can find almost anything you need under one roof. However, the products at supermarkets may not always be as fresh or locally sourced. It's a balance between supporting local businesses and enjoying the convenience of supermarkets. So whether it's a bustling local market or a big supermarket, both have their own special charms. Why do people give their own things to help others who are less fortunate? Well, the answer lies in two beautiful words: charity and empathy. Charity is when you give something you have to someone who needs it, like when you share your sandwich with a friend who forgot their lunch. Empathy, on the other hand, is when you understand and feel what another person is going through. So, if your friend is sad because they lost their favorite toy and you remember how sad you were when you lost yours, that's empathy. Now imagine combining these two. That's what happens when we donate. Maybe it's a toy you no longer play with, or clothes you've outgrown. When you give these to someone who doesn't have any, it's like you're saying, I understand and I want to help. And the best part? It makes you feel good too, like a warm hug around your heart. So, when we donate to those in need, we're spreading kindness and love in the world. Why do scientists study the air around our planet, and how does it affect our lives? A question that pops up in many curious minds. You see, the Earth's atmosphere is like a magical invisible shield, and it plays a crucial role in our lives. It's a bit like a superhero, quietly protecting us from danger. The atmosphere shields us from harmful space radiation, mostly from the sun, and without it, life as we know it wouldn't exist. But the atmosphere isn't just about protection. It's also like a thermostat, helping to regulate the Earth's temperature. By day, it lets sunlight in to warm the Earth, and at night, it keeps some of that heat from escaping back into space. This is what makes our planet a comfortable place to live. Now, how do scientists study this superhero shield? They use various tools and techniques to explore different parts of the atmosphere. Weather balloons, satellites, and radars help them collect data about temperature, humidity, wind speed, and more. They even use computer models to understand and predict weather patterns and climate changes. Studying the atmosphere is a bit like being a detective. Scientists look at clues like cloud patterns, wind direction, and temperature changes to predict what the weather will be like. This helps us plan our day, decide whether to carry an umbrella, or even prepare for severe weather events like storms or hurricanes. Climate change is another important focus of atmospheric studies. By understanding how human activities affect the atmosphere, scientists can provide us with valuable insights on how to protect our planet. They guide us in making choices that can reduce harmful emissions and slow down global warming. So, our Earth's atmosphere is like a big, cozy blanket that keeps us safe and comfortable. And scientists are the ones who help us understand and take care of it. They're like the detectives of the sky, constantly working to unlock the secrets of our atmosphere and ensure we have a safe and sustainable future.